They've progressed remarkably well, all in all, I think. Everybody remembers the very vivid moment of the phone call between President Trump and the Prime Minister here in Australia. I would tell you that that was not a great moment, to be sure, but the other people in the Australian government who trafficked the relationship, if you will, I'd say our embassy in Washington, say the Foreign Minister and DFAT, other people who are in the mix at a very high level, and then there are the hundreds, if not thousands, of bureaucrats that are in touch with their American counterparts, hour by hour in some cases, particularly on the defense and intelligence side. All of that has gone quite well. And the other thing that I'm acutely aware of running the United States Study Center is the business community. Trump is a distraction to some extent, or the controversy around Trump is a distraction, but business is business, and business has been going quite well in the United States. And people, Australian firms continue to look at the United States as an opportunity for growth and developing their businesses. And Australia, a few headwinds, but remains a very attractive destination for US investment. And that side of the relationship, a big part of the US-Australia relationship when you look at it in its totality, that's going as well as I've ever seen. Mueller's investigation is, I think, one of the biggest drivers of uncertainty in the American political environment at the moment. 2018 could well be the year of Mueller. And the interesting thing about it is, as I said, it's uncertainty. It's a huge driver of unpredictability. We don't know what he's going to do next, when he's going to do it. And that creates this climate of uncertainty and unpredictability. But as we get closer to the big electoral contest, the midterm elections of 2018, you wonder how what Mueller does will cut across that political calendar. And the history of the Watergate investigation, the history of the Whitewater investigation and everything that followed from it under Clinton, these processes just run on their own timeline and will have these huge moments of drama. And we're a long way from this being over. But for now, the fact that Papadopoulos is being described as a proactive contributor, that's a bit of a danger signal. It suggests that he has given Mueller a lot to work with and that Mueller will be producing that on his own timeline. And the only other thing I'd say about it at this point is just how remarkable some of Trump's pronouncements on this have been, most recently on the Asia trip, saying he confronted Putin again about the possibility, well, the finding actually, that several of the American intelligence agencies have made a determination of fact that Russian interests were actively engaged in trying to tilt the US election. That Trump insists that Putin says one thing, and he had to walk back that remark, but it just speaks to the way that this issue continues to grind away, and has to be this incredible distraction, both in the moment, but more structurally as well. You wonder how you organize a White House and do business when you're wondering if the person you're talking to is under investigation or is about to go back and make notes and the damage that does to trust and the ability to transact business inside an organization is just simply devastating, I would imagine, or if not devastating, then a colossal distraction. As I said, that 2018 is the year of Mullah, I think, and will be the year of the midterms. And if the 2017 election results, we had elections in Virginia and New Jersey, and a few state legislative elections as well. They do not point in a very promising direction for Republicans, who are the majority party in Congress at the moment, and Trump is at least nominally a Republican as well. Republicans took some real hits in parts of Virginia that, if those results were to hold up in like places across the entire country, people are seriously starting to crunch the numbers on this, but wonder if Democrats taking back the House of Representatives could actually be in reach. The midterms are going to start to dominate our conversations about American politics very soon, but with this shadow cast by, and this uncertainty, this huge X factor around Mueller's investigation, characterizing the conversation as well. So those are the two things. The third thing I'd throw on them in the mix, though, is at some point or another, I think Trump will get a domestic policy win, and it could well be tax, and that'll be interesting to see. A moment of perhaps rare unity between Trump and Republican majorities in Congress, but one with real substantive consequence. That's a big, big change to the structure of the American economy, and will have implications throughout the global economy if the US cuts its corporate tax rate to that level. So there are a couple of things that I'm thinking about right now. And I guess finally too, Trump has done this long visit here, broadly speaking, to the region, to this part of the world at least, not to our just north of here. What's going to come of that? It's the longest visit by a US president to the region in 20 years. There's one school of thought that says he's going to go back and reflect on what he's seen and heard, and take a stick to China on trade, or at least propose doing so. That's the other thing to keep an eye on. I can't help but think there's been this huge backswing on a more robust approach to China, particularly in the trade domain. At some point, you've got to wonder if there's going to be any follow through, and 2018 might turn out to be the year that we see that as well.